Hi there. This is the third video trying to help you with some trigonometry. Last time we looked at sine, cosine and tangent in the 4 different quadrants of a circle. Now, I don't know if you remember, but we decided that, we found that in the first quadrant, the sine, cosine and tan of all angles are positive. In the second quadrant, let's use my angle stick thing. In the second quadrant, that's angles over here, it's just sine that's positive, cos and tan are negative. Down here in the third quadrant, tan is positive, sine and cosine are negative, and over here it was just the cosine which was positive. Now, we're going to use these facts to work out how to find the equivalent sines and cosines and tans of angles which are not in the first quadrant. Now, it'll probably make more sense once I've actually shown you an example. Ooh, go away. Angle stick thing, go away. Now, sine 280. Okay, how do I want to find out what is sine 280 in terms of the sine of an acute angle? I don't mean actually finding the value of sine 280, I just want to know what is it equal to in terms of sine of another angle. But first of all, I need to decide which quadrant is 280 in. And if I go to thing, no, not that thing. I can see 280, where does that lie? There's 90, 180, 270. 280 is going to be somewhere over here. So 280 is going to be in the fourth quadrant. Let me look at angles in the fourth quadrant. Now remember, I'm measuring my angle in a clockwise direction around here. So I want 280. So I come down here. This is showing me what my angle is. 280 is here. Now, what does that correspond to? It corresponds to an angle of 80 degrees in the first quadrant, an acute angle of 80 degrees in the first quadrant. But is it positive or negative? Is sine positive or negative in the fourth quadrant? Well, no, sine is negative. Sine 280 is the same as negative sine 80 degrees. Now, if you're really smart, you'll pause the video now before we look at these next ones and see if you can work them out yourselves. So what is cos 140 equal to in terms of the cosine of an acute angle? And do it for all of these. I hope you have paused. Are you sure you've paused? Okay, let's go through them. Cos 140, going back to my unit circle. Cos 140, where is that? Now that we've got 90, 180, so cos 140 is in the, 140 degrees is in the second quadrant. It's over here somewhere. Let's have a look at the angles over here. 140. Oops. It's here. Now, the corresponding angle in the first quadrant, in other words, the principal angle, is 40 degrees. But is cosine positive or negative in the second quadrant? Cosine is negative, so we can go back. Okay, this will be equal to negative cosine 40. Cos 220, decide which quadrant is it in. So again, we're looking at cos 220. Which quadrant? Or 270 is down here. So 220 is going to be somewhere over here. That's in the third quadrant. Let's measure that. Oh, it's already on 220. Bang on. Okay, so 220 is the sine, is a cosine positive or negative in this quadrant? Cosine is negative. What's the principal angle? The principal angle is 40 degrees. Again, just like it was up here. So the cosine of 220 degrees is again negative cosine 40. See if you can work out again why that's true. Next, we're looking at sine 160. So back to the unit circle. First step to get rid of this stuff that I didn't really mean to put up there. Now, what was it I was looking for again? Sine 160. So which quadrant is sine 160 in? It's in the second quadrant. 160 is there, and that has a principal angle of 20 degrees. Let's go back. So sine 160, first of all, is sine positive or negative in this quadrant? It's positive, so it's equal to positive sine 20. Looking at this one, but cos 320. Going back to this thing, which quadrant is 320 degrees in? Well, 270 is down here, so it's going to be over here. So going to the fourth quadrant, I can see that cos 320, 320 okay, so that angle around there, 320 degrees, corresponds to the principal angle of 40. In the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive, so cos 320 is cos 40. Tan 230. Right. Tan 230. 230 is in the second quadrant, because it goes up to 270. Sorry, third quadrant. Again, what am I looking for? Tan 230. So 230 is there. Now, is tan positive or negative in this quadrant? Well, in this quadrant, tan is positive. So it'll take the same value as its principal angle. So it'll be positive tan 50. And finally, tan 340. Well, 340 is most certainly in the fourth quadrant. 340, being there. Now, there's the corresponding principal angle, but in the fourth quadrant, tan is negative. So the tan of 340 will be minus tan 20. Okay, so as long as you can picture which quadrant the angle's in, and remember the little sort of